Hi, this is Katie McKnight with another teaching tip for literacy and learning centers with my colleague Shelly Johnson, 6th grade teacher, and Brenna Sherwood, an instructional facilitator. Both of them are in Farmington, New Mexico. And we're going to talk about how to use supplemental materials or maybe even textbooks in literacy and learning centers. And one of the things that we've been doing in Farmington is using supplemental curriculum materials from Sadlier Publishing. And one of the core texts that we've been using is Progress. And the way it's designed, one of the things that we like about it is that the lessons are all built on the gradual release of responsibility model, which is also what literacy and learning centers are built on, is the idea of gradual release of responsibility, which is the I do, I model, I show, I give guided instruction, then the kids practice. So it's the I do, we do, you do. So the kids get a teacher-directed lesson, then guided instruction, and then they work independently. So what we've done with the Literacy and Learning Center model is that we start off with mini lessons. This is one of the great things about Progress, is that there's challenging texts and interesting texts in here that I can use for guided practice with the students. So I can start off with a mini lesson, and this one happens to be on drawing inferences. So I can go over drawing inferences with my students, and they can practice that skill together. And then when they start working in their centers, there are additional materials and additional texts that the students can use working on that same skill. So do you want to talk a little bit? Shelly's been using this in her classroom this year, and Brenna has kind of seen it in different schools as well, just how this model is working. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
The kids and myself, we usually work on the guided instruction piece of this book, which is the first story. And the story continues throughout the book. Once you're working with the guided instruction, they have nice questions about citing evidence, which really gets into the kids' heads. They have to cite evidence. And then it also gives them the vocabulary for this selection. And then the story continues, even though this guided instruction happens to be 4 pages. Some of them are 2 pages long. And then they have a guided practice that I have the kids do in a group, or I use a teacher-led center and do the guided practice with the kids.
So basically what Shelly is saying, what she does is that they start off together with the text, because they're usually longer texts.
Yes.
And we do maybe like 2 pages together in large group teacher-directed instruction. And then the kids can break off, and since they've already started working on the skill, they can work on this together collaboratively. And then for the assessment at the end, that can be a teacher-led center. So you make sure that they understand the text and that they understand the skill on drawing inferences. So it introduces the skill, gives them a text to work with that's at grade level, has that text complexity, and then kids are getting immediate feedback on how they're doing in that teacher-led center, which we know is really critical for developing literacy skills. So do you want to add anything, Brenna?
I actually do. Yeah. So one of the things I really like about the book is for veteran teachers like Shelly, they know how to structure a lesson for the gradual release of responsibility. But for your new teachers, your baby teachers coming in who don't have any experience with that, I really like the way it lays it out, and it gives them specific questions that they can ask. And it shows them how it can be structured in such a way that then they can take that information and apply it in other areas as well. But this is a great starting place for those new teachers who don't have that experience and that knowledge.
Yeah, so they have a model, so it's almost like gradual release for the gradual release for the new teachers, of just reminding them of what is best practice and the best way to organize lessons. So that's our teaching tip, is that when you work in centers, it's really not required, nor do I encourage you to completely develop everything from scratch. That's an incredible amount of prepping and planning, but finding really great resources that are out there, like Sadlier's Progress, that you can pull from in order to use for your whole group instruction, your teacher-directed instruction, guided practice, and then additional work and practice in different centers.